This is Johnny Nelson, and you're watching Sporting Icons.
Anyway, so I was just over watching one of my usual haunts here on YouTube, Pep Talk UK, conducted by Pro Bees. I'm a big fan of his channel, he's a big fan of my channel, all that kind of good stuff. Anyway, he was interviewing Johnny Nelson. That interview I'll put in the description box as my source for this particular video. Johnny Nelson, again, he's one of my favourite interviews. If you haven't seen my interview with Johnny Nelson, that will pop up at the end of this one when the My Interviews playlist will pop up. So click on that and you can see the Johnny Nelson interview that I've done. It's actually a very good interview. Now, within the interview with Pro Bees and Johnny Nelson on Pep Talk UK, they were speaking about Mark Breland. Mark Breland recently done an interview with Stamina for Sale, again here on YouTube, by Spencer Fearon and Tunde Ajayi. Now, I've pulled out a couple of bullet points and done videos myself on Mark Breland's comments about Wilder, etc, etc. Okay, so go check those out as well. Now, apparently, according to Pro Bees, Deontay Wilder has in fact responded to Mark Breland by calling Mark Breland a bitch and saying that Mark Breland was jealous of him. Now, I haven't seen the interview that Deontay Wilder does, and I won't be watching it because I don't watch the channels that Deontay Wilder associates himself with. And the one that apparently he's done an interview with, he's just a jello pudding-eating man bitch. That's exactly all he is, okay? He sells his soul, his dignity in the name of this man, okay? Hey, it is what it is. Everyone's got their crosses to bear. So I don't watch these. So I can only go by what Pro B said, which is Deontay Wilder said Mark Breland is a bitch and is jealous of him. Okay, so let's look at the jealousy part. In fact, before we look into that, why suddenly now is Wilder calling Mark Breland a bitch and jealous? After 12, 13 years of working together, why suddenly now is he a bitch and jealous? Why wasn't this recognised? If he truly believes that, why was this not recognised a couple of years ago? Before then even. Why suddenly now? Is it because Mark Breland had the sheer audacity, the gall, after months and months and months of being quiet and not raising to it all? Suddenly now he's a bitch. How dare you speak about me? How dare you respond? How dare you make me look bad? Even though it was Wilder who threw Breland under the bus by accusing the man of spiking his water. He's a snake in the camp by throwing in the towel and all this kind of stuff. What, Mark Breland is not allowed to respond to, you know? Who's really the bitch here? Right. Anyway, let's look at the jealousy part. So, Deontay Wilder, okay, he's had what, 45 fights now, is it? Got absolutely humbled, humiliated in his last fight by Tyson Fury. Now, Mark Breland is a two-time WBA welterweight world champion. Two-time. Former Olympic gold medalist. Five-time Golden Gloves champion with an amateur record of 110 fights and only one defeat. Can Deontay Wilder boast any of that? No. Mark Breland was one of the most feared amateurs of his time in an era where American boxing was booming. Boxing globally, in many ways, was booming. Mark Breland was a standout star. He's now a legend of American boxing. He's a boxing icon, is what he is. This man, after doing all this as the amateur, the Golden Gloves, the Olympic gold, the two-time welterweight world champion, gives his time from the moment Deontay Wilder turns pro. When nobody knew who Deontay Wilder was, when nobody gave a damn about Deontay Wilder. In fact, it's only recently, like the last 2 or 3 years, since the likes of me and some other people have been talking about Wilder, that people now are suddenly talking about Wilder. Suddenly now he's got a fan base, but he never did before. Okay, but Mark Breland gave his time for a long, long time. But Mark Breland is the bitch. Mark Breland is the one who's jealous of Wilder. This legend who gave his time to this guy who's fundamentally flawed, quite clearly delusional, spends every spare second he possibly can twerking, wishing that he was pregnant, all these kind of things, but Mark Breland stuck by his side the entire time. But suddenly now, because he takes a loss, Mark Breland's the bitch. Mark Breland is jealous. So, Mark Breland jealous, really? Okay, so as I said before, 110 amateur fights with only one defeat. Olympic gold medalist. 5-time Golden Glove champion. What did Deontay Wilder do as a pro? Now, granted, Wilder, he didn't have an extensive amateur career. In fact, he didn't have many fights at all because he got into boxing very, very late as a way to try and get some financial support to help his daughter with spina bifida. Big up to him for that. That's a true father right there, okay? So I can't take anything away from that. But as an amateur, what did he do? Now, you could say, but he got the bronze medal at the Olympics in 2008. Yeah, he did. Okay. For those of you who watched that Olympics, and if you haven't, it'll be here on YouTube, just go watch it. Listen to the commentary team when Deontay Wilder's fighting. They said themselves that this is the worst Olympics and the worst division that they have ever seen in the history of the Olympics. And this Deontay Wilder is nothing short of a moron. He's crap, he's rubbish, he's funny to watch. This is what they were saying about Wilder as he's fighting in the ring. Now, he got a bronze. Again, let's not get it confused because there's so many people seem to think that he got a bronze medal as a heavyweight. That's a great achievement. And it is a great achievement, of course it is. For anybody to even get to the Olympics and get a medal is a great achievement. So big props to him. But it's heavyweight, not super heavyweight. Too many people get it confused. Anthony Joshua, Lennox Lewis, George Foreman, etc. They won the super heavyweight division. Wilder won the heavyweight division. It's the equivalent of the amateur version of cruiserweight. And he got a bronze medal. He came third. Actually, he came joint third. 1 gold, 1 silver, 2 bronze winners. That's how it works out. So that's not even comparable to what Mark Breland had achieved. 5-time Golden Gloves champion. Olympic gold medalist. 110 fights, only 1 defeat. Let's look at the pros. Again, Mark Breland was around when American boxing was hot. So many good fighters now out there. Mark Breland is a 2-time WBA welterweight world champion. Deontay Wilder is a 1-time heavyweight world champion. And he had the easiest career run you will ever see in your entire life. He has a very, very padded record. Even as champion, he was fighting absolute trash cans. And the only time that he actually stepped up was, in truth, the rematch with Tyson Fury, and he got absolutely annihilated. I don't hear nobody saying about no damn Luis Ortiz or anything. Luis Ortiz, who's he beat? What did Luis Ortiz achieve as an amateur? Sure, he had 350 odd fights, whatever it was. Didn't win nothing. He never qualified for the Olympics or anything like that. Luis Ortiz's best win is a Brian Jennings 5 years ago. But it is what it is. He got annihilated. But suddenly now Mark Breland is a bitch. Mark Breland is jealous. Other way around, young man. Other way around. Drop your thoughts below. Click thumbs up. Subscribe. Catch you all in the next video.